This morning we're going to talk a little bit about my new book, Having the Time of Your Life, which is a book about cycles. And cycles are important because they tell us when our energy is strong and can be invested substantially in the world, to do work in the world, to do our creative projects, and when energy starts to move inward. And we need to be more introspective, considering what worked about our experience and what didn't work, and deciding what we want to move forward into the future and what we want to leave behind. We don't move just in a straight line in our lives. We move up and down and all around. And our lives are cyclical in nature, just as the universe around us is. The cycle of the sun, the cycle of the moon, the cycle of the planets, cycle of human experience. There are times of when outward activity is ideal and times when inward activity like meditation and introspection are most appropriate. So we have 9 years in each of our cycles, and each one of us has a number of cycles that operate in our lives. The important thing is to have some kind of an understanding of when we're beginning a cycle, when we're in the peak of the cycle, and when we're toward the end of the cycle. This can be extremely useful information. What I have found in my spiritual counseling practice is that many people are really being hard on themselves if they are in an introspective time and they're not aware of it, but they're at a time when they're supposed to be turning inward and meditating and looking at their previous experience. And yet all their friends are saying, well, why don't you go out, why don't you get a job, why don't you get into a relationship? And there is that expectation that they be very outwardly oriented, and it just doesn't feel right. And no matter how hard they try to be engaged in life, it doesn't work, because it's really time for them to begin to turn inward. So if you understand that you're in that period of time in your life, you can be more generous and compassionate with yourself and give yourself the space that you need. Conversely, there are times that are really peak energy times. And if you have, for example, a pattern of procrastination and or perfectionism, and you are in a peak energy time and you're not putting any energy out, you're not being creative, you're not engaging with people, well, you're not honoring your cycle. You're not honoring the energy of your cycle. So it becomes important to take little steps forward, take some risks, because this is when you should be out there. So just having this basic understanding of where you are in your cycles can be very powerful, because the concept here is we want to work with the energies of the universe, not against them. So in this video, I'll be talking about each of the years in the 9-year cycle, and I'll teach you how you can determine what year you're in and what are some of the things that you need to be thinking about. Namaste.